I hope when you return to the settled systems, you'll aid in showing them the true path.
You can't be serious granting them an audience. This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house. But you are the chosen elder.
Don't patronize me. The Great Serpent spared our house. We are favored here. And shouldn't you get back to the council? We can't afford to be absent at a time like this.
I guarantee I'm not missing much. But you're right. I'll be heading back soon enough. May the Great Serpent bless you.
So, Aorus has sent our newest Vindicator to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. The Ministry of Conjunction is one of the 3 government branches of our society. We deal in information to ensure the High Council can make educated decisions. Most of our work is highly classified. Even the High Council itself may not be aware of all that we're involved in. House Kadik is one of the 3 noble houses under House Varun. We've a reputation on being the more moderate of the 3. Not as fervent as House Vithal, and not as passive as House Dolkef. We're also largely associated with the Ministry of Conjunction, since I lead the department. You're right. It's not wise to waste time on pleasantries, especially now. Besides, who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I understand, and I can't argue the importance. I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by Zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
This is a major overreach. I have never known the Zealots to be so bold.
What happened to Dazra was a cataclysmic event. The city may seem in order now, but those first few days, it was chaos. And the Zealots took advantage. Because right now, this situation is a matter for the Ministry of Conjunction. As much as the Council thinks it's their business, it's not. At least not yet. They want Sahima, and we're trying to produce her. The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council, or even the reinstatement of their house. House Malene. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. They had a house. House Malene was abandoned a long time ago, but there are some who'd want to see it reinstated. House Malene was fully dedicated to Jandar Varun. They objected when his brother, Jarek, was chosen to take over as leader. They knew he would bring an end to the Serpent's crusade. It's why they abandoned their house and became the Zealots you know today, to continue what they believe is Jinan and Jandar's work. Jinan Varun had twin sons, Jarek and Jandar. Jandar fully supported the Serpent's crusade, and to many in House Malene, was the best suited to take over for his father. Aha. My thoughts exactly. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. And that is where the issue lies. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. Once I made the decision to go through with the negotiations, it wasn't necessary. Now that the situation has changed, well, that's going to be your job now. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now, on my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit, as long as no physical harm comes to them.
Understood.
Merrick is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk. The Zealots don't trust easily. If their location was discovered, Merrick would most likely be the first they'd suspect. They'd never trust them or any agent of House Kadik again. See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
Besides, Aquila City is one of the easiest things.
Something I can do for you?
A fair point. But if I don't hear about
Your focus should be on Rasmus' needs and assisting House Kadik. Don't take it personally. We have been through so much these last few weeks. The Council is attempting to claw back some semblance of order from the chaos, steer things past this somehow. And then Motherboard goes and throws you into the middle of all this without even consulting us. It's just one more breach of a protocol that barely exists anymore. I am over it, I assure you. It is good to have you with us, and we are finally moving forward. All must serve.
Did you get those reports written? Stop reminding me. Drowning is a big.
You have my attention.
The burden of reports over the secrecy that our agents have to keep.
Ah, thank you for reminding me. Ah, yes, we are done.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? So you're the heretic turned vindicator who thinks they're one of us now. So tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? Oh, I certainly don't. I may have many talents, but mind reading isn't one of them. Did she now? I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Rosma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Rosma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. Sahima isn't just being held hostage, they're putting her to work. The Zealots aren't stupid. They know what Sahima was involved in, and if they can beat us to that tech, they're going to try. And you think they'd believe your word over mine? Now leave me alone before I call security and have you escorted out, or worse. Serpent, grant me patience. Leave me be. Why are you still here?
This area is lucky to be unaffected. You are making a bit of a scene here.
promised.
Yes?
Serpent, grant me patience. Help!
I will not aid you in this. You and I have things to discuss. Have you lost your mind? Is there even a mind to lose? Do you even understand what you have done? What is there to say? That is really hard to see right now. It is true. The things we face are far beyond what most have to deal with. But you cannot take it back. We both have to live with it. The next time we arrive in port, I am leaving. It would do you well to reflect on how you arrived here, and what you want from your future. I know I shall be doing the same. Spit it out, then. No. That would be very unwise for both of us. I do not wish to be in your presence longer than is necessary.
You can't be serious granting them an audience. This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done. So, Akris says, don't worry. I'm Razma. You're right. It's not. Besides, I know the camp. They're being held hostage.
This is a major...
As much as I'd well. But the negotiations, the Zealots have yet to. Worst case, they know we can't risk Agreed. I need you to find. Normally I'd have it, but we too suffered losses. It's the only reason I even agreed. And that, I don't know. Their name is Merrick. This... Then you can put those... As I said, forcing them to give up. Get the information.
Understood.
See that you do. You'll find Merrick ups.
From your agent? Nothing yet.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? And you are? Ah, the heretic turned promised. So tell me, what? Perhaps you need to lay off the Koza, my friend. You're talking absolutely ridiculous. Did she now? I guess this means the high cap. And if you're here making demand, I see what's going on here. Easy. You ask me where Sahima is. I refuse because my work is vastly more important than yours. Then you go back to Auntie Rosma and tell her to go through with the negotiations. I've worked hard to obtain my position, and like I've told Rosma. So, as far as... You make a good point for an outsider. And perhaps I should take your presence here as a sign. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Rosma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned. It better.
What is it? Ah, thank you for reminding me. That is all? Very well.
You must have gotten the location. I figured they wouldn't be completely forthcoming. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. The Shadow Stations were established during the Serpent's Crusade. A series of secret military installations that few knew about, and even fewer may remember. The idea was to have isolated centers focused on different aspects of furthering the crusade. This way, if one fell, it wouldn't endanger the others. Epsilon was once a research station, with a focus on grav drive manipulation. The Zealots have since vastly expanded upon it. But it makes sense if they intend to use Sahima to their advantage. Shadow Station Epsilon is one of many Zealot bases scattered throughout. As I mentioned before, I wasn't willing to risk agent lives in order to scout them all. If anything happens to the hostages, they will lose a lot more than leverage.
We will do whatever is necessary to bring Sahima and the others back safely.
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. I expect them to be pliable after their last encounter with you. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. If memory serves, it's southeast of Shadow Station Epsilon. It shouldn't be too hard to find. Good. Serpent willing, your timing will line up. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Vindicator, a word before you go. Tell me, Vindicator, what do you know about the Zealots? An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget. Has my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots? I'm glad to see you're well-versed in humanity. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
That sounds like an incredibly foolish plan.
Yes, I'll get to that momentarily. As a member, I can say it certainly is not. House Kadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots, but the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Kadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. There are several members who are sympathetic toward them or their cause. Some see beyond their extremist veneer and believe they're just misguided. A very small few may believe Jandar truly was the rightful heir, but none would ever admit it. I'm certain it's the case that members of the other houses feel the same. House Kadik is just the only one who's been exposed for it. Razma would believe they want to reintegrate or even reestablish House Malene, and she's a fool for it. The Zealots want nothing but the means to carry out their war. Credits, weapons, and ships. And these very supplies would be used to harm not only your people, but our own as well. It's not for everyone. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Kadik's reputation and power at risk. And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Kadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. Exposing this information to the Council would condemn not only Razma, but House Kadik along with her. I have no wish to tarnish our house or ruin my sister. I simply want to show her the error of her ways. Far from it. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Kadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Razma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
An extreme sacrifice for the sake of your house.
Perhaps you don't understand. These noble houses have existed for generations. The people look up to us to guide them under the will of the Great Serpent. The fall of a noble house would put everything into question. And with the state Dazra is in right now, I won't allow that to happen. Those few lives will be nothing compared to the lives the Zealots will take if House Kadik continues to supply them. Sacrificing them would open my sister's eyes, quelling any sympathy and desire to work with the Zealots. Once Razma no longer sees the Zealots as an ally, the rest will soon follow. I'm doing what I must to preserve this house. All you need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. Think about it if you must. But if you care about your people, you'll come to the same conclusion as I have. And when you do, just know that we can't afford any loose ends. No witnesses. As far as everyone else is concerned, the hostages were dead when you arrived, and you exacted revenge in House Kadik's name. Of course not. But in this situation, it is the most effective means to an end. As a mediary, I am constantly weighing decisions based on both immediate and long-term consequences. This decision is awful, I know that. But the far-reaching consequences are worth the sacrifice. Zealots are unpredictable, and their passion to their cause often makes them prone to violence. Whether the Zealots believe it or not matters little, but Rasma certainly will. The settled systems, of course. They're the Zealots' #1 target with more victims every day. I trust you'll make the right decision. Until then, I'll see you at the negotiations.
Don't let Jamal distract you too long. I need you to act quickly. What would you like to know? As you know, the Zealots are extremists. Whatever desire, our people to have to make contact with the Great Serpent, it's tenfold where the Zealots are concerned. After the cataclysm, it wouldn't take long for them to find out what we were doing, and how Sahima may be the key to fixing it. Sahima was once part of a science team that worked directly with Anaska. But, being young, they didn't want to listen to her theories, or, more importantly, her warnings. Sahima's theories may now be the key to reaching the Scaled Citadel, or maybe even restoring Dazra. Sahima is a brilliant mind who's always been a bit on the outskirts of the family. She can be a bit temperamental, but it's mostly due to people misjudging her capabilities. Otherwise, she's kind, yet ambitious. Good. If you have further questions, let me know. If you feel it will help. Because it's my duty as head of the Ministry of Conjunction, having insider information on the Zealots is vital to Dazra's safety. A seat at the table, justice for Jandar, any number. It all comes down. Normally, no one would. But our people are in a state of mourning. I couldn't afford to risk lives when there may have been a peaceful way out. Hopefully, you'll be able to find the hostages, steering these negotiations in our favor. Great Serpent keep you.
Yes? Something I can do for you? I wish it were the case. This is an ongoing point of contention with my sister, and it never changes. Rasma and I come to agreement, something happens that makes her reconsider, and we're right back where we started. This is why extreme measures are necessary. Only something truly horrible will force her eyes to remain open. I was on a walk nearing Jinan Plaza. My view of the Citadel was clear. I saw the windows flood with light and then a flash so bright I was forced to turn away. When I turned back, my eyes saw only a swirl of energy surrounding the Citadel and the crater that surrounded it. No, it's complicated. Jinan Barun himself established the rules. Let me see if I can make it easy for you. The Speaker has supreme authority. He is the voice of the Great Serpent. The houses each handle some function of daily life and are individually run by the Elder of the House. Each of the houses also appoints a mediary to the High Council to inform and advise the Speaker. It's a separate position from the Elder, with a lesser degree of authority and prestige. Now is hardly the time to be entertaining such thoughts. Perhaps it keeps the Speaker free to concentrate on the larger issues, while allowing us some amount of control over our lives. Rasma and I are normally quite agreeable. We've always been like-minded ever since we were young. It's the reason we were groomed for the positions we currently hold. The Zealots are what divide us, much like they divide our house as a whole. I remember it well. Zealots attacked a Highlands growth farm. A weapon left behind was one used in payment for a recent operation. Rasma could accept it as collateral damage. I could not. An innocent family died that day. And it opened my eyes to the greater consequences of working with Zealots. Many within the Ministry of Conjunction are aware of the division. They wouldn't be good envoys otherwise. And yes, it does affect them. When you aren't united, the cracks begin to show. The dissidence grows. Rumors begin to circulate and trust is called into question. Our envoys should know better. But that's how we ended up with the current narrative that House Kadik is sympathetic toward the Zealots. We use similar tactics to navigate the complex waters of Varun society. But most importantly, we share the same ideologies when it comes to House Kadik and the people of Dazra. There is no progress without change, and Dazra stagnates in old tradition. Perhaps your arrival in the Scaled Citadel incident, awful as it was, will serve as a catalyst to finally advance our society. What do you want to know? The oversimplified answer is yes. The two may be synonymous, but house politics will always take precedent. House Kadik is a symbol, a noble house, and its members are held to a higher standard with greater responsibility. Vindicator.
This area is lucky to be unaffected. The Zealots seem to have made quite a home for themselves.
Another victory! Well earned. I heard something.
Oh, we can pause for a moment.
Now we deliver your... What was that? You will suffer!
I never had the patience for computer systems. Did you need something? Mm-hmm. Goodbye. Another way through here. Unsure where it leads.
If you're here to help, that zealot had a key. You have to get me out of here.
Who are you?
Serpent's Grace, I knew it! I knew she wouldn't just leave us here to rot. It's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to force me to continue my research here. They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure.
The Zealots were wise in their tactics. Up until now.
Well, the Zealots think they are forcing me to continue my research here. They want me to apply my theories to Anasco's scaled Citadel debacle. Somehow they ascertained my previous involvement. The original experiment. The one that took out half of Dazra and sealed off the scaled Citadel. Surely you must know. I'm sorry. I realize the elders and council members may not be properly disseminating this information. I'm not one for politics, obviously. Are you saying my theory is correct? I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people twice my age to shame when it came to assessments. Of course, this is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. I wish I could have that mentality. And maybe it's not so much a desire to be cared for as it is a desire for acceptance. I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Kadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove me from the equation. I get it. But at least now everyone knows I was right. All right. First, we need to free the other hostages. The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving into their systems here. I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate Anasco's experiment, and I didn't even bother with risk assessment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Granted, I could probably make it work if I had to. Right. Focus. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are different. The Zealots you'll encounter beyond here are altered somehow. To be made thus would be to show them the Great Serpent's mercy. Some may, but keep in mind that we are scientists. Many of them have never seen true combat and are no longer proficient with weapons. But some, like me, may still be capable. Just don't expect much of them. Good. Those skills will prove useful then. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base or their ships. No way. It's probable that we'll make it, and when we do, I'm handing this over to a familiar face. No offense. Now move it. You've got hostages to free. This shouldn't take long. Just get to the others and I'll see you outside.
If you have the time, I wish to speak to you. I have something I wanted to say. But I confess I am afraid of how you will react. I am reluctant to put that to the test. But it is necessary that we are honest with each other. You told me that you believe in going it alone,
as you put it. But we have traveled together for a while now. I feel I must honor that time with the truth. The little I have spoken of my history has been nothing but truth. I worked with smugglers. I have caused my share of pain and suffering. What I have left out, until now, is that all of that was done on behalf of House Va'ruun. My people. My family. Cult is such a dismissive word. The faithless run to it so quickly. I have grown so tired of hearing it and all that it implies. I was born in the great city of Dazra, and raised with the teachings of Jinan Va'ruun. I underwent the rite of Krejar when I came of age. I am of the promised, those who know the truth of the Great Serpent and his inevitable return. You must understand, my being here is secret. No one is supposed to know. Several years ago, I intercepted requests from Constellation to access Va'ruun's space, speaking only of exploration. I was sent to infiltrate Constellation, posing as a former smuggler looking for a new purpose in life. That was the intent, yes. But the reality is more complicated. Several weeks after I arrived, I attempted to access secure records within Constellation's archives. Vladimir and Sarah were waiting for me. I had no idea what to think. I was horrified. My failure would be reported to the High Council, and the penalty would be severe. I suppose that is one way of looking at it. Sarah has not asked me much about House Va'ruun, but the information I sent them could be seen as valuable to her. You and I have spent so much time together. It has been increasingly difficult to keep this from you. And I am sorry for that. Telling you this violates so many of the orders I was given. But it was the right thing to do. I can feel that. I am truly sorry. I understand that this may change what you think of me. I know that you may no longer wish to associate with me. I believe that in this moment, honesty is more important than anything. No matter what happens next, I have appreciated the time with you, and I thank you for trusting me. Yes? Right. Profit is never necessarily the aim, but if there is something worth taking...
Heat it! No!
Who are you?
What is your intent?
You aren't a zealot. Who are you? Thank the serpent. So that means she's safe? We haven't been able to observe much. They are physically superior, stronger, faster. They ignore pain and are resistant to things that would take any normal person down in an instant. I'm not sure what the Zealots have done to create them, but I would surmise the process was less than pleasant. If only there were more of us down in the caves. Not so fast. The Zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the Zealots and rescue the others so we may all escape safely. We'll be ready.
Not everything in the galaxy needs to come with us, you know.
To keep strong, but I fear I may be losing my mind.
Are you quite sure you don't want to hold on to that?
Great Servant, protect me. Servant, save me. Is this? Thank you. My prayers have been answered.
I'm not ready to hear. The Great Serpent has heard me. Thank you.
Great Serpent was truly watching over us.
We all made it. We're safe. You did it! It's true what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives. Thank you.
Correction, it's time for you to get back. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone here is okay to make it back safely. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking place. Have I mentioned I'm sick of people? I'll be there when it counts.
These members of your house have suffered. I can respect your decision.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. Good. Now it's my turn to watch Mihail squirm.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is. You think I care about Anasco Varun, son of a traitor? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
Are you sure?
You launch that virus, and I guarantee blood will spill. Prepare to be made dust!
If Dosra is to recover, everywhere the Zealous
Good to see you.
Certainly not the outcome I was expecting. But at least we have what's important.
That's one way to handle negotiations. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
May the Great Serpent bless you. They got what they deserved. Until next time.
House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I. I owe you my life.
Tahima, you are a part of this house.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. Personally. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. Oh, I am. Very. I just don't think the High Council is ready for the series of I told you so's that I would surely inundate them with. Plus, I think I'll wait until after they've proven out my theories to approach them on that topic. I'm going to head back home now to check on the others, but maybe come find me later? Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahima. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your debt. You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. One that we'll be keeping a much closer eye on. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret. Our relationship with the Zealots has always proven beneficial, especially when it comes to our work at the Ministry of Conjunction. The only reason they gained any semblance of power was due to the gross miscalculations of Anasco and his research team. Exposing this information to the High Council will only diminish House Kadik's power. Zealots are extremists, but our goals are the same. Spread the word of the Serpent and await the shrouding to be embraced. A solid alliance would involve concessions, but more than likely, it would quell their misguided crusade. Some alliances are worth the risk, but that will be for the High Council to decide, should you decide to play the informant. The others involved know better than to speak of this. seem to be understanding our society quite well. Now, I have much to do, and so do you. Ekris and the High Council will be expecting you.
You've served House Kadik well today.
With the High Council no longer pressuring me, I can turn my complete attention to my people. Serpent guide you.
We have nothing to discuss here. I'll see you back in Dasra. All must serve.
Is something amiss? Very good.
The Great Serpent saved Dasra from sin.
There was never a time when I was old enough to be allowed to drink alcohol here.
You do not understand. I saw a Nazco, took measure of his burdens.
What you are describing is a dream, nothing more. Ah, were you able to find Sahima? Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the morning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost so much of our great city. This leaves houses Dul Kef and Vathol.
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, a Nazco descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science will.
It is the hubris of science that failed you in this moment. We reached out to the Great Serpent. This is his reply.
You claim he has forsaken us?
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an answer, but a question. Are we worthy of his grace? Until that is proven, your works will not succeed. It is fine to question. The truth will be revealed in time. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. A Nazco's presence still persists in this world, and he seeks our aid.
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Vindicator, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
Do you hear it? The Great Serpent speaks to you. Guides